What is going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. Another season done and dusted. But we end with a trophy. We end as European champions, champions of the Europa League. It doesn't come without kind of bad things to go with it, because we did finish 17th as well with a record number of defeats in the Premier League. So I think...
But at least we got the song. 17th, I don't know.
Mate,
Wow.
the vibes coming out
towards
towards the end of the season has just been unmatched. They've been incredible. But
Marlon said yesterday when we were 1-0 up, he said, God, even the song they're going to take away from us. They're going to take that away. Well, we still have it. We still have it, people.
Even if we would have won, the song would have stayed with us. But I just feel like there's so much conversation going on right now. Ange in, Ange out. And I think everyone has kind of valid points, don't they? Whether you're Ange out right now, I think there are valid points to it. Whether you're Ange in right now, I think there are valid points to it. We'll get into all that in a bit.
But vote in the poll. I want to know what you're kind of feeling. I want to know what the chat's feeling. So there's a poll right now running in the chat, Ange in or Ange out. We just want to get a bit of a temperature check where people what the feeling is. So it'll be interesting to know. So yeah, put it in the chat, kind of in the poll.
Yeah, so we're going to get into a lot of this stream. We're going to talk about the weekend. We're going to talk about Ange. We got a bit of an update for you, and the last review, the Prem of the season as well. But 5 minutes ago, I put out this poll. 139 of you have voted, and 182 of you in the chat. So get voting, people. It's 57%, 58% Ange in now, and 42% Ange out, which is very interesting. And I'm hoping by the end of it, it will be more Ange in than out. But I guess let's start off with yesterday. We did lose 4-1 to Brighton. We all thought, like, what the hell? What team is Ange going to put out there, when we saw the players just completely and utterly drenched in alcohol for the past 3 or 4 days? Brennan Johnson, the likes of Brennan Johnson, Bentancur, Romero, Son, Maddison, loads of different players on top of them. Just, we didn't think they'll be able to make it on the pitch. So the ones that did make it onto the pitch, credit to them, because I think the way we came out in the first half, I thought we were playing really well first 45 minutes. And I thought it was definitely a case of the players feeding off the energy from the fans, because the fans were giving it a lot of energy. There were flags that the club put on every seat in the stadium. The vibes were absolutely immaculate. The songs were flowing. The drinks were flowing. And as soon as you got into the stadium, it was just mad noise. Like, it was actually deafening. I walked in there and I was like, wow, this noise is actually mad. And the Spurs fans must have been as hungover as the Spurs players, because, like, look, my voice is still croaky. We've been out pretty much most nights since the final, late nights, hardly any sleep, a lot of alcohol consumed. The celebrations have been incredible, pretty much better than I could ever imagine what the winning a European trophy would be like. The parade was just a dream. It was literally a dream day, that parade day. The night of lifting that trophy was also just a complete dream. And I'm still pinching myself right now, think, was that actually real? Did that actually happen? Like, are we sitting here really as European champions? And I'm just blown away by the whole thing. I really am.
The last few days have been a fever dream. It really has. Ever since that final whistle went in Bilbao, it's literally been stuff of dreams. Something we always thought what could be in these kind of moments. And obviously, look, we've obviously been through the win and everything. But obviously, I wasn't there yesterday. But I saw some of the atmosphere that when the flags came out, the fact that when we scored the 4th goal, I saw the flags come out again after they scored the 4th goal. I mean, yesterday. That just goes to show the kind of feeling amongst the fans, which is so amazing when you consider it wasn't that long ago that there was so much kind of negativity and toxicity surrounding the fan base, and, you know, Tell jumping into the crowd, having to calm fans down, and having altercations with fans, all these kind of things during the season. It's all just been washed away in one fell swoop. Literally, I don't think there has been as much joy and happiness and proudness, I think, of Tottenham for a long, long time, to be honest, than right now. And that's all happened literally in one moment, one game, and it's all that negativity and toxicity and everything has just faded away into the background.
Because this is all we've ever wanted. Like, I have literally dreamt of that day of Spurs doing a parade down the high road since I can remember. Literally, like, this is all we've ever wanted. We wanted success at this football club. We wanted to see our players lift the trophy, particularly someone like Son Heung-min that has been here for so long, given so much to this football club. It's you know, he deserves it more than anyone. The fans deserve it more than anyone. And it's what we've been craving for so long. And we all sing over the years, my eyes have seen the glory of the cups at White Hart Lane. And we've all felt like a bit like a fraud singing that because we've never actually seen glory with our own eyes. We've seen a few Carabao Cups, but this is real glory. This is real glory. This is a European trophy that we can brag about all summer. You know what I mean? Like, this is exactly all we've ever wanted. So we can puff our chests out all summer and we can sing, my eyes have seen the glory of the cups at White Hart Lane. Like, that's literally all I've ever wanted. The
European success, European trophy. And yeah, in terms of just going back to yesterday, the fans obviously seemed in brilliant mood. I don't know how it was in the concourses before the game. Was it popping off?
It was popping off like never before. It really was. Like, cast your mind back to when we beat Arsenal 3-0 and how packed it was on that concourse.
What about like Bodo, before the Bodo game?
Before the Bodo, it was more than all of that.
Really?
It was more than all of that.
Wow,
you literally could not move in there. You could not move. The 3 tiers of the stadium was packed. Songs were flowing. It was just mad. Like, literally everyone was in such a good mood. And it was basically like the parade had just been extended to the game. That's what it was like.
And after the game?
After the game, yeah, I mean, the bars were packed. Like, not many people were like in the concourses, like singing their hearts out, but it was more just like the bars were packed, people enjoying a drink. I mean, because you had the whole parade and then people were, after the game, you know, the lap of honor with the trophy, and people were filtering out through then. So I think it was like kind of staggered people. So I stayed till the end of the parade, so I don't know what it was like a bit before then, but it was still good vibes. Like, people were outside, you know, in the outside bit, and it was packed there. It was packed in the bar inside. I mean, fans were everywhere. It just wasn't that kind of crazy singing like it was before the game.
Yeah, but it's good. It's really good to know about, like, that the atmosphere was that good before the game, which is obviously expected considering just how happy everyone is right now. In terms of just touching on the game, we did take the lead with that Solanke penalty. Good, nice penalty, but you just got the feeling, it was only 1-0. Like, it was always probably going to fall apart at some point. Yeah. It's just a bit annoying how it did. Like, the 2 corners that we just conceded from, like, just like massive slices of luck. But to be fair, you can't really say it wasn't coming because Brighton were kind of all over us. And that's
I tell you the truth. Like, I barely watched a kick of that game, to be honest. I mean, I was watching in the first half. I thought we put on some nice patterns of play. We looked up for it.
Tell was looking decent, I thought.
Yeah,
first half. I thought he looked quite good.
He did, and the way he won the penalty was good, and it was a nice pass in behind by Pape.
Should have scored again. Had that one-on-one.
I mean, I thought he was just going to slide that past the keeper, but it just kind of rolled into the keeper's arms, which was a poor finish. But yeah, look, there was some nice movements, some nice patterns of play. Like I said before, I felt like the players were definitely feeding off the energy that the fans were giving them. And I was saying to Barry, who was sitting next to me, like, yeah, well, the players should be going out drinking pretty much every week, like, if we're going to play like this, because that first half was probably the best we played in the league for a while, which you've got to say, but it definitely caught up to them in the second half. And I genuinely thought like at halftime, Andrew was going to make like 2 or 3 changes at halftime. I think he made 1. I think Odebert came on for Pape. Bentancur, I thought, was like looking to get sent off in that first half, to be fair, with the challenges that he was putting in. I thought he was going to come off at halftime, but yeah, second half, it just all caught up to them and they couldn't get out of their half. Brighton were penned us in. They were battering us. They were creating chances and we just had no answer to it, to be honest.
Yeah. The 2 goals there, the first 2 goals are 2 Hinchelwood corners, though. It was just a bit annoying because it was just bobbling all around the box and it just falls to him on both occasions. And credit to him, he finishes them pretty well, both of them. One into the roof of the net, one back heel. But big slices of luck and how it felt him. Because I think both of the first one deflects off Solanke and falls into his path. I think the second one, deflects off Danso. So, like, massive slice of luck. But I guess when you're peppering us, you earn your own luck. Yeah. Then the third one, Gotta say, it's a terrible challenge from Basuma. It's really bad. Like similar to some of his challenges he's made for penalties this season, I think against Chelsea, and bit of a brainless challenge. And then the fourth one, you just got to applaud that strike. What a goal! One of the goals of the season, you have to say that.
Yeah.
Or good 35 yards out.
Yeah.
And just absolutely battered that into the corner. What a goal! So we end up losing 4-1. Wasn't a great result, but I think, again, it showed the mood around the club that when that fourth goal goes in, they cut to the fans. They were getting the flags back out. They started chanting. It was a weird one because obviously I was doing the watch along and there was, a few thousand in the chat, and they were really going in on the team, and they were really like going crazy. And I was sitting there basically not caring about what was going on because I just couldn't care less, basically, that we were losing 4-1. And clearly that was kind of the mood in the stadium, I think, as well. I don't think there were any boos or anything. I'm guessing when the full-time whistle went, I'm guessing there were no boos or anything, or anything like that.
There was a cheer.
There was a cheer, exactly. So literally, like, no one really cared, but like the whole chat was like, "You're embarrassing yourself. How do you not care about this? Like, we're 22 defeats, we're 17th. This is embarrassing. I can't like the whole chat was full of it." So like, I was like, what is going on? Like, do people actually care? What about this game? Is it just online people? Is it just people in the chat? Are these bots like chatting, or are these real people actually caring about what we're saying?
If any of you guys were in the chat that were putting in messages like that, let me ask.
Full of it. It was like literally so much negativity.
Let me ask this: like, if we would have won the game yesterday, and we still would have finished 17th because Manchester United and West Ham won yesterday, would your opinions on the season change at all? Like, would it have made the blindest bit of difference to what your feelings are towards the management, towards the club, and towards the season we just had? Would it made any difference?
No, but it's also like everyone knew going into this game. We said it in the preview, like, we're gonna lose. Like, we have, the team have been drinking for 3 days straight. Yeah. They've celebrating a monumental achievement. We are going to lose this game, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we finish 17th or 14th or whatever we finish. We've won that European trophy, right? So this last game doesn't make a blind bit of difference to anything. So we knew we were going to lose. We were expecting a loss. We did end up losing. And so I don't understand. I've seen it a bit on X as well, not as much, but, I've seen a bit on X. It was in our chat. Like, if you, honestly, if you're picking this moment to complain about a loss and a bad performance right now, like, I'm sorry, you're just like a miserable person. Like, how can you be miserable right now and be complaining when we've just had the best moment in our lives? Yes, I understand there's been a lot of pain this season, a lot of defeats, and a lot of people can't overlook that, and that's fair enough, each to their own. But when it comes to right now, we're not even a week away from that final win, from that trophy, right? When we're a few days after it. And yes, we lost that game yesterday, and it was another bad performance. But if you're like picking that moment to say another bad performance, like, how is this acceptable? All this kind of stuff. Then I'm sorry, like, you're just miserable. I know a lot of people in the chat were saying yesterday, your standards of, you're normalizing losing. Where are your standards? Him is like, we just won a trophy. What standards? That's my standard. That I wanted that trophy, winning, glory. That's what football's all about. It's all about winning trophies. That's the number one thing. So if that's not a good enough standard for you, then fair enough. If you would rather, I care so much about little league wins at this point of the season, you can do that. But I care about the trophy. That's all I've cared about this season. That's what this club has been obsessed about, especially a big European trophy. So I just don't understand these people picking this game specifically to like get mad, get angry about. I think there's a lot to have been angry about this whole season. I get it, but like, after this game, no one should be being angry. I'm sorry.
100%. Like you said, less than a week away from a famous night in Bilbao where we've taken home a trophy, a major significant moment in our history. It really is. Don't get it twisted. That was a major significant part of our history, added to our long illustrious record in Europe. Third UEFA Cup Europa League that we've brought home, second most amount of UEFA Cup Europa Leagues in the history of the competition. Like, at what point? Yes, I get the whole season has been a bit of a shit show in terms of the league campaign, going out in the FA Cup fourth round. Carabao, we got to the semi-final, which is decent. But at what point after winning that trophy are we going to sit here as a fan base and just be happy Have some smiles on your faces. This is what we've been wanting for so long. Like, can't we all just come together and just be happy and celebrate it all summer, because it's a significant monumental achievement, which is what we've done this season.
Mm-hmm. Well, part of me thinks that is what we're doing. It's just a lot of maybe loud people on social media who, I mean, not a lot, because I don't think it's people with large followings. A lot of the time it's people with just maybe quite a small minority of small followings who are saying these kind of things in the chat. Because as I said, this is why I'm getting confused, because I'm seeing that in the chat and it's a lot of it, but then you look at the stadium yesterday and there was none of that, not an ounce of it. You're saying, like, it was all positive. You know what I mean? The fourth goal goes in and they start saying, oh, when the Spurs, there was a cheer at the full time, even though we lost 4-1. So maybe it's just an online thing. Yeah,
it's definitely an online thing in my opinion, but you know, the online thing does get loud. And I mean, to be honest, I haven't taken too much notice of it. I've seen a few YouTube channels and stuff, you know, being quite negative and a lot of conversation going on there. But I prefer to live in the world of reality inside the stadium, in and around Tottenham. And in those facets and in those kind of circles, it has been 100% positive and 100% behind the club and 100% in a celebratory mood. So that's where I prefer to live. And I'm just so happy, guys. I'm just so happy. And I tell you what, as much as I've been going in on the club, going in on Ange, going in on Levy, going in on everyone this season, and I've been really negative throughout the whole season, you know, and I think I've been well within my rights to, with the way that we've performed for the most part of the season. You know, there was a part of me that was falling out of love with the club because of how we've been and because of how the management have managed the club. But after Bilbao, that night in Bilbao, the night in Frankfurt, the night in Bodo, it's made me fall in love with the club all over again. And I love my football club. And this is what it's all about.
If you can't be happy in these moments...
This is what it's all about, people.
Like, these are the moments that we should be cherishing, and these are the moments that we support, we like football for, we love football for. These moments right now, right here, right now, in this moment, basking in the glory of a European trophy, a triumph that we haven't experienced in many, many years, decades we've gone without experiencing moments like this. So if you can't sit here and be happy, just enjoy it right now. And instead of worrying about anything else, oh, we're 17th and being embarrassed by that and all, like, that doesn't matter. These are the moments to enjoy and be happy as a football fan. If you can't do that, then, you know, you're never going to enjoy watching football, because you're always going to have something to complain about. There's always going to be something else. If you have to enjoy this moment right now.
There's a reason as well why you look around at this Arsenal fan base right now, and they're in bits. They're in literal bits because of what Spurs have done this season. And they know, like, because it's such a significant achievement for Tottenham to do what we've done, something that Arsenal have never done in their whole history, by the way. That proves, just seeing the Arsenal fan reaction just proves to you how the Spurs fans should be reacting right now. And that is just being the most happiest mood that you've been in since 1984.
Exactly. Stick it to them.
Exactly. That's what we should be doing all summer. Sticking it to them, celebrating, and just being happy, guys. It's time to be happy. It's no time for splits in the fan base. It's no time for negativity. This is a time to be together, be happy, and celebration. That's what this is all about now, because we've brought home a trophy, first European trophy since 1984. And I'll keep saying it till it drums into everyone's head, because this is such a significant achievement that Spurs have done. I'm just going to keep repeating it. Because I just tell you what, I'm the only thing that's frustrating me right now is just some of the reaction from some of the fans. But I would say the majority, 95% of the fans, I think, are kind of the same thinking as me, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I'm not even talking about fans. I mean, we're going to get into the whole Ange and Ange out stuff later, but I'm not even talking about fans who are saying Ange still needs to go after this, because, look, there are fair arguments for that. It's just more about fans yesterday who were, like, complaining that we lost. It's like, come on. Really? That's what you're going to complain? That's what you're going to take away from yesterday? Is that we lost a game of football and finished 17th? That, you know, that's what you care about after yesterday? Is that's what you're focusing on? Really? Like, come on.
I was buzzing to get to that stadium yesterday, knowing full well that Spurs were going to lose, knowing full well that Spurs were probably going to get battered in the game. Like, what would you expect? Like, if you were out drinking for 4 days and then you went on the pitch the next day, like, do you really expect that Spurs are going to put in a competent performance and go and win the game? It's a credit to them to just get out on the pitch and perform like they did in the first 45 minutes. So I say big up to the players. big up to the players for getting onto that pitch and you know, putting in some sort of a coherent performance in the first half, looking decent. I was buzzing to get down to that stadium. Nothing to do with the 90 minutes of football. It was due to a day of extending the celebrations from Bilbao to the parade into the stadium. That's what it was for me, because I knew that was going to be the last day of celebration where we're all together until next season. And that's what all yesterday was about. It was a day of celebration, a day of coming together, and basically it felt like a bit like last day of school kind of vibes where, you know, jovial, happy, celebratory, drinks were flowing, songs were flowing. And that's what it's all about. That's what being a football fan's about. If you can't enjoy these days, you're never going to enjoy any day. So you may as well just pack it in and go home.
Exactly. So that's, I think, all I got to say about some of the fans who are just being negative Nancy's. I think it's one term, and that's it. Like we've got another potential European trophy up for grabs at the beginning of next season.
Did you hear about this other thing that we're in?
Another thing?
Yeah, we're in another thing that we could lift another trophy. We could lift 2 trophies before the end of August, apparently.
What's the other one?
So it's UEFA CONMEBOL trophy where we play this. So in South America, they've also got like 3 tiers of competition, like we do, the Europa League, the Champions League, and so the Europa League winners play like the winners of the 2nd tier in South America.
Oh, really? Where is that being played?
I don't know where it's being played. I was looking for it.
I've never seen anything.
This is the 2nd year of it.
I see. So what? So
Atalanta didn't take part in it last year because there was some sort of reason why I didn't. But Sevilla are the only holders of this competition.
But who won the Champions League last year? So
it wasn't the Champions League. It's the one below the Champions League.
So you don't have a
Scud America or something.
So they don't have a Champions League winner versus the.
They might do. They might do. I don't know. But I don't know. I just saw it was back. Apparently, we're going to be playing Racing Club in a one-off game.
It's like a finalissima.
Yeah, I think that's what they call it as well. I think that's one of the names of it.
Well, finalissima. Well, come on. It's not a European trophy. It's a world trophy, people. We're going to be world champions.
Yeah, it's called
champions of the world.
The UEFA CONMEBOL Challenge Trophy or something.
They do. Real Madrid won it. Because I know they had the Club World Cup, obviously, which was a smaller version than the new Club World Cup, which is obviously this summer. It's like a proper tournament like before. That's what I thought that was.
It's the UEFA CONMEBOL Club Challenge. That's what it's called.
So when is that going to be?
So last time it was played, it was in like mid-July, like 19th of July, 2023. Was
really? So it's like in pre-season times.
Yeah.
Okay, so we get another trophy.
Yeah. It's like a shield kind of trophy.
Come on. When's that going to be organised?
I don't know. I'm sure we'll hear about it soon. It was on social media the other day, but apparently we will be playing Racing Club from Argentina.
We could have another 2 trophies in the bag before the start of next season. Come on, people.
So we got that. We got the Super Cup. PSG against Inter. Who do you want, PSG or Inter?
PSG.
I want PSG as well.
Just so if we beat them and the team knock Arsenal out, that'll just be amazing. That would be amazing. But yeah, I'd love PSG.
And regarding the Champions League as well, for next year, it looks as though we are going to be in pot 3 because they've changed the rulings a bit. I thought we were going to be in pot 1 because of the way
that's how it used to
the
be,
rankings usually works. Europa League winner usually just went straight to pot 1.
Because it was all the winners in pot 1. That's what it was.
But it's not like that anymore. So it goes on coefficient ranking.
But actually, it doesn't really matter what pot you are in
it doesn't.
These days because you're going to play
2 of each pot.
It doesn't matter what pot you are. You're 2 in each. So it just matters. The only reason it matters what pot you are is kind of because you have to play 2 in each pot, and so you have to kind of have teams and pots so you can choose that, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, because you still play a team from
before.
Your own
it
pot.
Did kind of matter because if you're in pot 1, it means you're only playing another one pot 1 team, but that doesn't matter. Sorry,
I mean any pot 1.
So that's what I mean. If you're in pot 1, you're only playing 2, 3, and 4. But now it doesn't matter. Yeah, now it doesn't matter
because it's 2 from each pot.
Yeah,
regardless.
exactly.
So can you play teams from your own country?
No, not in the group phase.
Not in the group phase.
Not in the group phase. There's a lot. By the way, if you look at the new Champions League, there's a lot of teams who we played in the Europa League last year who were in the Champions League.
I've seen Bodo Glimt are there, Frankfurt are there.
Bodo Glimt, Frankfurt, Ferencvaros are there as well. Who else?
That would be nice to play Ferencvaros with Robbie Keane.
Robbie Keane, yeah.
He wasn't the manager when we played them this season, was he?
No, he wasn't. I think he took over after.
Yeah,
that'd be nice. So, we're going to be playing a lot of Champions League teams.
Yeah, and I'm buzzing for it, man. I can't wait to be back in the Champions League. I can't wait to play that Super Cup game as well. I mean, it's just we got all good things coming our way now. It's just like everyone talks about a sliding doors moment, this being a sliding doors moment, and it really is, because if we wouldn't have won that final, 17th, no trophy, no Euro Champions League revenue, like the club would be firmly in the mud. Be hard to see how we maneuver going forward. But now we've made the Champions League. Now we've got that kind of money coming in. Like we can actually kick on now if the board treat it in the right manner.
It's an opportunity, 100%. As Ange said, it's definitely an opportunity, because we nearly were in a very precarious position given the league campaign, and it would have been even worse because, as you say, because of how low we would have finished, the money that would have been available, we would have lost out on like at least 30 million odd because of the league position. So the fact we
would have been more.
Well,
more than 30 million. So, I mean, we'll get the Champions League revenue as well.
I'm saying just by a league position, it would have been just from that, it's like 30 million. And obviously, no Europe would have been a massive hit as well. So I'm sure it would have been probably even more than sell to buy this summer if that would have been the case, knowing this board. But the fact we've got in the Champions League, we've got all that revenue, and we got the revenue from winning the Europa League as well, and I don't know how much revenue you get from Super Cup, but maybe that's a few million as well there. So we've got an opportunity now to really kick on and really put ourselves back.
Cup challenge revenue,
exactly. more revenue. There's a real opportunity to kick on now and get ourselves back to where we should be, and obviously put this league season behind us. We know the problems we've had with all the injuries and all this kind of stuff, and we can just put this league season to bed and really kick on next season and start afresh. And we know we've got the squad we got is a lot better than the position we are in, and we've got some really good players. We've got a basis of a good team. We just need some players who are a lot more comfortable in the Champions League, playing at that kind of level, a lot more experience at that kind of level as well. And we have a team that can really kick on next season. I really believe that. Look, I don't expect us to be challenging for a Champions League, obviously trophy next season or anything like that. But like getting ourselves back in the top 4, top 5 conversation, I don't think is out of the question at all in the next season. And you see how things can change. Look at Forest this season. I know they didn't have European football, but they went from 17th, so they were in the top 5 for a lot of the season. Obviously, they fell away in the Conference League, but they made a big jump. Like, it can happen.
Or just look at Aston Villa. They had Champions League for the first time in a very, very, very long time this season. People are going to be like, how are they going to maneuver Champions League football and the Premier League campaign? And I thought, for the most part, they did that very well. They were very unlucky not to finish in the Champions League spots again for this season. I mean, they got robbed last day of the season to not finish there. They finished, 6th in the end? And they got to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Like, if Spurs got to the quarterfinals of the Champions League next year, finish in the top 5, top 6, and hopefully bring home a trophy as well, I think that's a fantastic season for us.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be unbelievable for sure. And obviously, what you got to hope is winning breeds winning. And now they've got the taste for it. Now they've done it. They felt it. They know what it takes to do it. If they can harness that feeling going into next season, then they'll hopefully. A lot of these games, a lot of it within football, a lot of it is momentum and belief and confidence in yourself. And for a lot of the season, I think clearly we've been lacking that, especially with a lot of young players as well, playing their first season in the Premier League, especially when you're on a losing streak and you're getting criticism all over the place and all your best players are out and all this kind of stuff. And you kind of get yourself into a funk, and it's hard to get yourself out of that, especially when you're not that experienced at this level. But to come away from that with a trophy win in the manner and the joy it's brought everyone and the togetherness it's brought the squad, I can really see us being in a different way next season. I really can. And I know it's hard for people to see that, but I truly believe that. But look, I guess we'll get into the manager situation in a bit, but yeah, I really believe, regardless of if he stays or goes, I think we really should be in a different situation next season.
I agree. By the way, prize money for the Super Cup, 3.8 million euros for a runner-up and 5 million euros for the winner.
All right.
So it's significant. So we've already bagged minimum from the Super Cup 3.8.
There you
euros, that is, by the way.
There you go.
So I mean, yeah, interesting. A good revenue is coming Spurs' way for these UEFA competitions.
How many concerts we got over the summer?